Now, people often ask me, how do I manage my email? And so I'm going to tell you right now, inside word, how Jeff does it. This doesn't necessarily have to be how you approach email, but this works for me, and maybe some elements of it will work for you. First off, as I mentioned previously, I never allow anything to stay in my in bin. I just don't. I will create holding bin temporarily, but by the end of the day, even that is clear. I do not let email go from day to day. I am forever sliding things into files. I am forever deleting things. I am forever combining things. But the key, I think, to my own system is labeling of the file folders in the email tree. So regardless of what type of email you're using, as often as you can, inspect the ways in which you are categorizing information to begin with. So let me give you some examples. I have an email for each staff person. I have an email file folder for each staff person. And each staff person I have may have several subfolders within their particular listing. So if Mary is working on this, I'll have one file folder for her, and then I might have 2 or 3 others that are subfolders, so I can easily find everything she's working on. Now, that's no big deal. Probably all of you do that in some capacity. However, I expand it even further. I have an email for every client, every prospect, every project, all under a larger email folder category. So in other words, I have a couple of basic categories, then underneath that, the email folders that belong in those categories. Book publishers, speaking clients, and so on. I go even further. I have an email for every email folder for every month of the year. How many do that? No one. All right, here's news. I have a folder for January through December, and I have 01 before January, 02 before February, 03 before March. Why?
Alphabet sorts.
They will automatically sort correctly, and you can do this with any grouping of folders that you have. Use 0 through 1, or if you want to really get complex, 001, 002, and so forth. So by using 01 for January, 12 for December, they automatically align. Now at any given moment, I only have the current month at the top, and there's many ways to rig that. You can change the number system. You can add spaces before the name of a file. If you put in 3 or 4 spaces, do you know what? That file gets treated in the first position. That folder moves right to the top. So if we happen to be in May now, I can either leave May as 05, or if I remove the 05 and I have space, 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 May automatically comes right to the top. Within May, I'll have everything I'm currently working on, and then I'll have subfolders in May. I'll have, for example, awaiting, where I'm awaiting somebody's word. Or I might have one that says, to take action, where I need to take action, but I don't need to take it immediately. By having a file folder for every month, the sky's clear. My email problem in general is half of what it might have been. Why? Something comes in, you don't have to deal with it right now, you park it in the folder of the month where it's most appropriate. So you might have stuff come in today that you're going to slide into June or July because there's no reason to touch it until June or July. Some people go a bit further, I don't, but some people will actually create a file folder for every day of the month, 1 through 31. Short months 1 through 30, February 1 through 28. Some people will create a file folder for quarters of the month, so instead of 31 different files, which could get a little onerous, instead you have 1 through 8, you have 9 through 16, you have 17 through 23, and 24 to 31. And so here again, when you slide a folder, you slide information into a folder that's most appropriate for when you have to get to the task. It gets it out of your in-bin, it gets it off your mind, it puts it in the right place. Now the corollary for hard copy files in your file folder is exactly the same. You can create file folders based on people, based on projects, based on clients, based on equipment, based on initiatives. You can have file folders based on months of the year. When you have a hard copy file folder based on months of the year, it's sometimes referred to as a tickler file. T-I-C-K-L-E-R, tickler file, where, you park whatever you need to. And the beauty of this, the beauty of having the tickler file is, when stuff comes in that you're not sure exactly what to do with, you still have a place to park it. If I don't have to look at this for a month, I will park it a month hence. When a month comes around, the amazing thing is, and you all know this to be true, a lot of times when you look at that stuff again, you think to yourself, well, why did I say this to begin with? Or what's its real applicability? Or it looked so good at the time, but now in perspective, it's not all that important or worth retaining. So by parking items, you automatically get them out of your visual field, you get them off your desk, you get them out of your email in-bin if it happens to be online stuff. The more you're able to take information and put it in appropriate folders, put it in appropriate bins, the further ahead of the game you are. Now, one more corollary to all this. I am a big believer in using highly creative file folder names. I have names that say, check in 1 month, check when the merger goes through, check on a rainy day, examine after I receive XYZ award. In other words, I will use creative file folders that speak to me, to no one else. If somebody came by and they saw my system, they'd say, what's this all about? But by using creative file folders, creative labels, either hard copy labels, online labels, you give yourself a fighting chance of being able to park stuff in its most appropriate place until that time when it makes sense for you to get back in touch.